These are, as you may see, cigars. And now you might be confused by the title of this video. Dom, how did cigars make you $25,406.45? Well, it's a good question, considering that I had my best month and I smoked more cigars than ever. Shout out my business partner for this box. Is it just coincidence? No, it is not. Now let me go through a story with you. While I was building up my agency and while I was trying to scale from 0 to hitting my first 10K per month, one of the things I did that, looking back, I probably did wrong was I never rewarded myself. So I'm going through, I'm working really hard, I'm doing all these cold calls, I'm not getting any sort of output, which is fine. Because guess what? The people who can delay the most gratification in this field, in any field, in the gym, in business, in any sort of thing, will achieve the best results. What I encountered though was, let's just say I did 500 cold calls in a week. Okay, and then Saturday comes to do another however many, and boom, Saturday wraps up. What am I doing? I'm going right to the gym and I'm grinding. I'm working really hard. But then Sunday I wouldn't really reward myself, right? I would chill and I would hang out and I'd do whatever, but I'd almost feel so behind. And I had this mental set that I was behind, that I was grinding from 0 to, I'm at 0, I'm at 0, I'm at 0, I'm at 0. And that was the mindset that I held for a long time, and it kind of kept me down. And as I read through my journal, the one thing that inevitably brought me from 0 to 10K per month, looking back on when I was journaling, was I talk about how I start developing, what I saw anyway, was I started talking about myself as a guy who's already hit 10K per month. I know it's coming, it's just in time, I've already done it, I'm doing the inputs, I'm gonna do this. And this belief starts formulating. And actually, I vividly remember one of the first times I smoked a cigar with Caden was over the summer. And during that time, I made a lot of progress, and then I kind of fell back, right? And then I smoked another cigar with Caden in December, and we made a lot of progress the next month. And then I smoked a cigar with Caden in January, and we made a lot of progress the next month. And February, the month I made $25,406.45 in my agency, was actually the month I smoked the most cigars in my life. I smoked one every week. And that's kind of what I've been keeping up with now, is I probably smoke cigars 1 to 2 times a week. I rarely, if ever, drink. I don't, fly on the ganj train. That's not really my style. I really like a nice cigar. It's just my thing. It's my vice. Hell, sue me. And the thing about it though is a cigar to me signifies victory. And as I'll be going over in this video, it basically had my mindset as the person who smokes cigars because he's victorious. And so now let me walk you through an example. Is in sales meetings, for example, we go through this process with prospects. And now the reframe that I use in sales is you not having the money. Is that a problem or is that a symptom of the problem? And the truth behind it is a symptom of the problem. Because most of the time I'm talking to somebody, they haven't invested in themselves or they don't have a system. That's why they don't have money. So when they say they don't have enough money to get that system, it's actually the opposite, is that they don't have enough money because they don't have that system. They don't have that action-taking strategy. So if they implemented that, then it would start the domino effect, boom, and they would have the money. And so this is the same thing as I always thought, I'll smoke this fat ass cigar when I hit 50K per month or 100K per month, whatever. But the reality is that as I started smoking cigars more and rewarding myself more, it created this positive feedback loop. And I started cementing myself. I'm gonna go over the examples in a second on my Miro board, but I started actually making myself really believe that I was this person who was succeeding. And if you guys know anything about our previous videos or some small names like Charlie Morgan, he talks so much about the mindset and just believing in yourself, believing you're that guy. If you look at any successful person in history, they always believe they are that guy before they are that guy. And so smoking cigars allowed me to create a positive feedback loop of success, along with many other benefits that actually tie back into the business world, as I'm going to show you right now. All right, so as I was talking about earlier, guys, it's really the mindset. So guys like Andrew Tate, guys like, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jordan, right? Michael Jordan, Jalen Hurts. I've always seen these guys smoking cigars. And to me, it makes me feel like I'm one of these people, like I'm one of these guys. And guess what these guys do? They believe in themselves, they consistently stack wins, and they have that mindset that I'm a winner, I deserve to smoke this. And so that's the mindset I gained. And when you have the mindset, right, your beliefs becomes your thoughts, becomes your actions, becomes your reality. So when I had that basic belief, my reality was inevitably shifted. And that's the most important thing, guys. Is you can do all the outreach in the world, you can do all the sales calls in the world, but if you don't believe in yourself, you're not actually going to get to where you want to go because you're going to quit before you even try, before you even get to the point. David Goggins says that the human mind will stop you at 40% of what you're physically capable of because it doesn't want to be hurt. And so if you don't believe that you will get there, you'll stop at 40%. You will stop at 50 cold calls as opposed to 150. You'll stop at, let's just say you're running advertisements, for example. Like, you'll stop scaling ad spend because you're scared that you won't make it. But if you have that initial belief, you will make it in business. You will make it in life, guys. And smoking a cigar, it just psychologically for me, it does that, right? It makes me believe I'm that person. And so because my belief is like that, my reality will eventually be like that because I'll take the actions of a successful person. I'll take the risk that I need to do because I know I'll get there because I know I'm a successful person. So anything I do will end up working out. And kind of leeching into that, it signifies victory to me, guys. Like it means that I have a good week. And when I have a good week and I smoke a cigar, I start building that cycle. Look at Joe Rogan. He says like a couple good days, and eventually that's just who you are. You just have good days now. There's no such thing as bad days. For the longest time, I couldn't get consistent in the gym, and all it took was me going to the gym for a month straight, seeing the results and everything like that. I was hooked. Fast forward years later. So a cigar to me signifies that I had a good week. When I have a good week, I smoke a cigar, and I don't really have bad weeks anymore, guys. I can't tell you the last time I had a week and I was like, man, that week was all the way around shit. Sure, there's been times I've woken up too late. Sure, there's been times I've played, maybe played video games when I wasn't supposed to. Sure, there's been times that I haven't done the work I've needed to, and I've kind of slacked off. I'm not saying that at all, guys, but what I am saying is that I started this positive feedback loop that's just never stopped, all because I smoke cigars, right? It makes me want to work harder as well. It makes me want to get that. I want that cigar at the end of the week. I usually smoke a cigar on Fridays and Saturdays too. So I usually smoke 1 to 2 cigars a week, and it makes me want to work towards that cigar. It's something to look forward to. That's not necessarily like out of It's not like a car that might take months or years for me to get, or a house that might take months or years to get. Right? It's it's a cigar. I always can have cigars for the rest of my life. So I want to earn that cigar, right? And it makes me work on Friday and Saturday a lot easier because most of the time I'm smoking a cigar, I'm actually doing dials for warm leads. Or maybe I'm responding to client texts, or maybe I'm writing down things that will improve the business. I'm doing high level planning. And so cigars actually help me be better, right? And another thing too is I network. I smoke cigars, I go out and network, and cigars is a very good networking tool because it takes some time. You go out to lunch or eat and you do whatever. When you're smoking a cigar, you're sitting there with someone for like an hour at least, and you're just talking business. You're building real, genuine bonds. A lot of these guys, every single person here, I pretty much still talk to today. And so this is as simple as it is. A cigar gives me the mindset I need, makes me want to work harder because it's something I look forward to. It actually improves my ability to work in my business, and it helps me network. So I'm not saying you guys have to smoke cigars. That's not what I'm saying at all. But find the thing that pushes your mindset that you look forward to that will advance your business, and figure out the rest of the stuff. If you guys want to know the business model, if you guys want to know how to sell, if you guys want to know all of that, just DM me on Instagram, Dom Closes. But outside of that, actually putting that belief into yourself, it all starts with finding your cigar.